Hello, my friend. Dr. Keith Johnson here. Just getting ready to go in the gym and wanted to share something that I think is really important for you for this next season of your life. Before I do that, I just want to let you know that if you're a speaker, author, or a coach, or you're just aspiring to be one, next week I'm going to be doing a whole webinar on how I built my brand called America's #1 Confidence Coach. You're going to love this webinar. If you have any desires at all to coach people, to write a best-selling book, or to be a speaker, listen, you'll want to join me for that webinar and be on that webinar on Tuesday, October the 13th at 8 p.m. So I'll post down below, or you can click the link above, and you can sign up for that webinar, get connected, and you'll receive your invitation. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share, please like if this message speaks to you. I know it's going to speak to a lot of people here today. But I want you not to forget this. The Apostle Paul told young Timothy to remember to fight the good fight of faith. And faith looks into the future and sees the divine possibilities of what can be. It sees it internally before it ever manifests externally. And the big fight of faith is within. So many people think that the fight of faith is against these demonic forces and these demons, but first you got to conquer the demon within before you try to conquer the demons without. And I'm convinced that really, I think a lot of people they've lost the fight. They've lost the fight, not without. They've already lost the fight within. So the enemy doesn't really have to fight them because they'll beat themselves. Because the greatest battle, my friend, I just felt like I needed to remind you, the greatest battle that you're facing in this season of your life is right here in your own mind. All right? Right now, your mind is at war, and your mind is being challenged on so many different levels in this season. And I know you may think, COVID-19 is what I'm at war against, or you may think the economy is what you're at war against, or maybe you got some things going on and you think that's what is the challenge for you. But really, my friend, let me tell you, the challenge is for you to win the internal war of faith, to believe that no matter where you are in this season of your life, that God is a God of increase. All right? I want you to get this, because don't forget, the Bible teaches us in Hebrews 11, verse 11, that he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who he is a rewarder. He is a rewarder. He is a rewarder. I'm trying to get this to you. He is a rewarder. If you're going to be in faith, those who are in faith comes to God and believes that he is what? He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And so your battle in your mind is realizing God is a God of increase. What is God thinking for your life? God is thinking increase for your life. The battle is for you to align your thoughts with God's thoughts. And I think it was James warned us. He said, the mind of man is at enmity against God, right? So what? God's got all this positive stuff he's thinking about you, for your future, what he has for you. And he sees the divine possibilities. Now, where are we at? Well, our struggle sometimes is we're looking at the circumstances. We're looking at what is, and then we get wishy-washy. We get out of alignment, divine alignment, with how God thinks and God's desires for us. And so the battle is staying in alignment. And as you journey toward your destiny, there's going to be all of these, things that are going to punch you in the face. I say often, I love what Mike Tyson said, every man has a dream till life comes and punches you in the face. So you're going to get all these punches in the face on your journey. And you got to make sure that your mind is in alignment with God. And let me tell you, your friends who you're hanging out with, they're either helping you keep that alignment with God or they're hurting you. And you have to ask yourself, whose voices are you listening to? Are you listening to voices that are helping you keep in alignment with the thoughts and purposes and the divine destiny of God? Or do you have a circle of people who all they're talking about is exactly the opposite of God's thoughts? So are you hanging around with people who are thinking increase for their life? Or are you hanging out with people who think, well, we're stuck, we're always going to be here, things are never going to change, this is just the way it is, life stinks? And you have to be careful. It really hit me yesterday when I was at the car wash, and all the people at the car wash I'm super friendly with. I pull in and I have nice cars, and these people are working at the car wash, man, and they're making minimum wage, and I'm always I intentionally go out of my way to be nice to them, and every single one of them, I always slip them a $5. One lady, she was pregnant for a long time, and I would slip her a 50 sometimes, and just, try to bless them. And yesterday I was there, one of the ladies, I got my wife a new car, and she said, man, I hate to see this car roll off the line. I just want to sit in this car. This is such a beautiful car. I said, yeah. And she says, but I'm poor. I'll always be poor. I'll never be able to afford one of these. And I says, I've been knowing you for a long time. You've been working here for a long time. And I said, no, you may be broke, but you don't have to be poor. Broke is only a temporary situation. Poverty is a mindset. I'm going to be here forever. See the contrast? And you got to fight the fight of faith and keep your mind in alignment with God's will, God's thoughts for your life. And I know myself, man, I've been on a journey myself, and there's been times where I've won the war over my mind, and there's been times where I haven't won the war. But I'm telling you, there's been more days that I've won the war, right? And that's the reason why I'm where I'm at today. But the war never stops, because God is always wanting to increase us. God is always wanting to enlarge our territory, like the prayer of Jabez. Oh God, that you would bless me indeed, that you would expand my territory, that you would keep your hand upon me and keep me from evil, and that my life would not cause pain to others. That's the prayer of Jabez. And he prayed for an enlargement. He prayed for increase. And that's what I'm praying for you today. Increase and enlargement. Now, I'm going to say this because this webinar is coming up. Many people cannot increase because they're in the wrong vehicle. Yeah, I'm sitting here in my vehicle, and many people are simply in the wrong vehicle. And the vehicle you're in is going to determine how fast you can go. So for instance, if we're running a race and the race is a mile, and I say, I'm going to race you, all right? And what you don't know is, let's, for instance, maybe I say, I only have one leg. So, and you have both legs. Well, if I say I'm going to race you 1 mile and we're going to run together, who's going to win? No, yeah, you're gonna beat me at a mile. But if I say, okay, I'm going to race you for 1 mile, and I'm going to bet you $100 that I can beat you, and I only have one leg, would you bet me $100? Yeah, you'd bet me $100. Because you what? You know, man, this dude's only got one leg. How's he going to beat me in a race? But the day of the race, we come to the starting line, and I show up with a bicycle, or let's say a motorcycle. I show up in a motorcycle. Now what? Now I say, well, I'm going to race you. Not only am I going to go one, I'm going to beat you and go 2 miles. See, different vehicle helps me get to my destination faster and quicker. And so you could say, well, I'm gonna get me a bicycle. Okay, well, now I show up with a Lamborghini, and you got a motorcycle, I got a Lamborghini. And then you say, well, I'm gonna get me a Lamborghini. Well, then I say, okay, I'm gonna show up with an airplane. See, as I change vehicles, my speed increases. The possibilities of what can happen increase. And this is why I want to talk to some of you, because some of you are in a vehicle just called a job, and you can't make money, you can't generate wealth fast enough because you're running. A job is at running level. And you need to stop running, and you need to jump into another vehicle called a bike, a car, a jet, a rocket, right? And one of the things that you could do to change vehicles is particularly if you have a desire to help people. It's all you need. To be a speaker, a coach, and a writer, author, all you have to do is have a desire to help other people. That's the number one prerequisite. And if you have a desire to help people, you are a candidate. Number 2, all you gotta have is a story. You say a story? Yeah. Do you have a story where life punched you in the face and you overcame? And now you have a testimony. The Bible tells us that we overcome the enemy by the words of our what? Our testimony. The Bible teaches us that our testimony, our story, has tremendous value. And I want to tell you that in the webinar coming up on Tuesday, we're going to talk about how you can take that story and turn it into cash. Some of you are sitting on multi-million-dollar assets. That's unbelievable. But you don't realize how valuable your story really is. So if you're listening to me today, I want you to go to Speak, Coach, and WriteYourWayToMillions.com. Speak, Coach, and WriteYourWayToMillions.com. If someone would post it below, I appreciate it. You can click the link down below, or you can click up above, and you can go and you can register for this free webinar that I'm doing, again, where I'm showing you the 3 secrets that I use to build my America's #1 confidence coach brand. How did it start? It started with me not having any confidence. It's my story. You got a story too, and we just got to pull it out of you. So thank you for joining me today. I want to again say, you got to think increase. You got to think increase. You got to win that battle, fight that battle. But then also, the second battle you gotta fight is staying in the same vehicle for the rest of the days of your life. And if you stay in the vehicle, the chances are you'll never get to your wealthy place. You'll die before you get there. You'll be like the children of Israel, die in the wilderness and never get to the place that God has for you. Because it took so long. 40 years. OMG. In today's economy, it doesn't have to take that long. So you can turn things around in 5 years. All you need is 5 years to quickly turn things around.